Hello and welcome to episode 4 of Girls on Graps. As you can see, today it is just me and Alexia. Unfortunately, Anna wasn't able to join us, but we thought we'd go live and talk some wrestling and things of that nature. As you can see from the title, we're going to talk about some WrestleMania indie shows, like that's happening that week. I meant WrestleMania week indie shows. My God, already fucked it up. Restart, pretend this hadn't happened. Yeah. But we're also going to talk about Adam Copeland bringing back the Cope Open with the TNT title that he just won this past Wednesday, AEW Dynasty, and probably some more stuff, you know. We just kind of yap and see where we'll go with it. But, as always, please remember to like, subscribe, send super chats if you are feeling generous, because we are going to be here for the next 90 minutes or so. But Lexi, how are you feeling today?
I'm doing great. I was watching Supernatural, like I do always. But nice. I have not eaten today. I got up, I was gonna do my makeup, and I was like, I'm gonna go get myself some Chipotle for lunch. Whatever. I got ready, and then I was like, I am a lazy piece of shit. I didn't want to drive. I was just like, you know what? I'll just get something to eat later. But I'm great. I'm just chilling, just ready to be here and do this. So yes. What about you? How are you?
Fun times. I'm good. I had a bit of a busy week. I was kind of here, there, and everywhere, as I usually am. I was up in Cardiff on Friday for a wrestling show. That was my first time going to that promotion, New Wave, and that was really good. But yeah, ready to talk about some wrestling with, I was going to say the girls. I mean, there's only
the girl. That's great.
Singular, yeah. So yeah, if you are watching live, thank you for being here. It's going to be a fun little time. Let's start with Adam Copeland, our new TNT champion, beating Christian Cage for the second time for the TNT belt. In a very fun match on Dynamite that went a little bit too long and got a little bit too cute, but it was a combination of their story and it was special for them. So these things happen. But now in a backstage interview, Copeland has said that he's going to bring back the Cope Open, and where he lets people challenge for the belt now. So who are we thinking? Who do we want to see challenging Adam Copeland for the TNT title over the next few weeks?
Well, I already have a person in mind that I want. I think you already know where I'm going with this. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like for me personally, like, are you talking about who wanted to the throne or just like challenge in general?
Just challenge. Like, who do you want to see step up to the plate, have some matches with him?
Low key, I want to see an Adam Copeland and Nick Wayne match because I want to see what the dynamic on that would be like, just because of Nick Wayne, like, you know, being under the umbrella of Christian, like his mentor and stuff. So it's like, I want to see what the dynamic would be like, especially like whenever he like first joined. Like, I remember that backstage scrum, that was like one of the first few people he like mentioned that he was like, I'm really looking forward to, you know, working with this, and this. And I remember Nick Wayne was one of the people that he mentioned. And I was like, that would actually kind of rule low key. Plus, like, I feel like it'd be nice to give like Nick Wayne some like screen time again, just because I really like him. Like, I like him. Like, he's like a really good wrestler. So it'd be pretty sick to see that little dynamic. Like, you know, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I do agree. I feel like it would be a cool little way to just tie another little bow in this story, like when it comes to Nick Wayne and that, because he's been a thorn in Copeland's side throughout this entire Christian's story they've been telling. So, and I think that it would be a great learning opportunity for him. Like, he's clearly learned a lot under Christian anyways, but getting in the ring with vets like Copeland's always going to benefit someone like a Nick Cage. So, in that same sort of vein, what would you think of like a hook match? Like, I know he's busy with Jericho, unfortunately, at the moment, but I feel like Copeland could get something interesting out of him. And again, it would be a great learning opportunity.
Honestly, that would rule. Just like Adam Copeland versus the whole roster, low key. Like, I want to see like him versus like Brody King, him versus like, I just want to be able to see like what, like, you know, Adam Copeland in 2024 would look like against like the younger guys. Like, I just want to be able to see. Like, obviously, we know he can still hang. Like, he can still go. Like, that match on Wednesday, I thought it was so good. But, I don't know. I would like to see more of him, like, versus, like, some of, like, the different younger talent. Like, younger, you know.
Yeah.
But
someone I really wanted him to face, like when he first joined the company, my immediate answer was Jay White because I just really want to see what that match looks like. Like, I feel like that could be really interesting. I want to see if there's any suggestions in the chat. We will talk about Garcia in a minute because we have the same sort of feelings on what be. So we'll talk about that in a second. Lee Moriarty, Nick Wayne, Hook, Dax, Brody King, Malachi Buddy. You're on a similar sort of vein with us.
Same wavelengths.
Choice, but I know some people that would really enjoy Copeland versus Dax. That's a very collision.
That's a very worldwide match.
Yeah, it is. Joe Holbert Promotions.
Joe Holbert Promotions.
JJ Williams has said Cope versus Takeshita is a mind trip. Yeah,
Listen,
that would be.
Yeah, that
would be something.
I can't even imagine what that would be like. But
I don't know how they would even approach that.
I'm interested on that though. Yeah.
I would like to see that. Not just in the company though. Who are some like AEW adjacent people you want to see Copeland face? Because I have a few answers that I feel like there could be some fun matches. Like he faced Suzuki a couple of months ago.
Oh, shit,
let's get that Ishii match. Like get him in with Tomohiro Ishii and see what happens. I feel like that could be very interesting.
I want to see him versus Tanahashi just because like I love old men wrestling. That's just that's like peak. So I don't know how that would look like either because it's just like there's just so many like ways to go on about this, especially with him bringing back the Cope Open. It's like it's nice because it's like a little like I guess like breath of fresh air where they're bringing like where they can start bringing like people who they don't utilize a lot just for like like get them in like a short little like 7-10 minute match, pushing it. It's just I don't know. I'm excited for it. Like it makes me look forward to it, which is I guess it's the whole point of it. But
there's with Mania weekend there's going to be such an array of talent in one area that there's like I want them to do something like fun with the Cope Open for that weekend. I'd love to see like an international talent get a chance at the belt. I'm trying to think international talent that are in town that weekend. Could you imagine Adam Copeland versus someone like Mao? Like that would be
Shout out to Mao. Shout out to Mao.
We will talk about Mao in a bit as well.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of cool international talent in town that weekend. I'm just like, let's do something fun. And also do something fun with the international belt because it's very fitting. But I'm getting ahead of myself. We'll talk about Mao, not just Mao, but international talent.
Mao in general,
yeah, this show has a dedicated Mao segment because apparently that's why I have on the brain right now. But yeah, I feel like there's a lot of interesting people in and out of the company they could have him face. Someone who's a free agent right now that I would be very interested in the matches with both members of this tag team, to be honest. But Alex Shelley, especially versus Adam Copeland, I feel like could be something real special.
Dude, Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin just need to run back the Chris Sabin Matt Sydal versus the Young Bucks again, low key. I need them to run that back so bad.
Yes, I do agree.
I'm trying to think. What was the question again? I just got ahead of myself and I started thinking about Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin.
I was just talking about free agents. Like I was talking about Alex Shelley. Anyone else from like international talent like you would want to see?
Oh yeah, Adam Copeland versus like some of the CMLL guys. It's just like I want to see Adam Copeland wrestle a lucha libre style match. Like like I don't know, just put him out there, get him out and do something with them. I don't know, it'd be fun.
Yeah,
just for my own entertainment.
Ease us in with like a Rocky Romero match. And then book him against Volador Jr. I don't know, do something like we're just what? Have Adam Copeland wrestle a bunch of young talent, but also all the old men in wrestling.
Yes.
Because that's what we want to see.
I just want to see Adam Copeland versus Jeff Jarrett. Sorry, a trigger warning, Carly. Trigger warning, but.
On
On
that note, who do we think? Moving swiftly on. No, I'm kidding. I feel like that could be a lot of fun, especially if they put a gimmick on it. A gimmick?
Yes, a
stipulation.
A gimmick, yes. Yeah, a gimmick match. Dude, there'd be a lot of shenanigans in that match, and I would live for that. Like that, Jeff Hardy, Jeff Jarrett, Texas Chainsaw Massacre death match shows a trip. But like,
I hated that so
I don't know
bad.
if it was. I can still, even to this day, I can't decide if that was a trip in a good way or a trip in a bad way. Like, I'm just like, it was a match.
It sure was.
That happened. That was so confusing. But I don't know. I think that would be a fun little gimmick match.
Yeah, they could put it on a collision. It'll be out. But when it comes to dethroning Adam Copeland, I think we have the same answer. And I want it to be Daniel Garcia. We're in agreement on that? Yeah. As if we don't talk about wrestling together 24/7. I'm just like, do we agree on this?
Do we agree on this? Yes.
For the benefit of the audience. Yeah, we've both been big fans of Danny for a while now. Very much in agreement that he should be holding gold like now. I still think that I get why like doing this match that they didn't like doing the match this past Wednesday that they did, why Danny didn't win at Revolution, but I think it's his time, man. He needs that TNT belt, or that TNT belt needs him. Like, Christian's done great work with it. I have absolutely no doubt that Adam Copeland's going to have a really fun run with it. Let's get it back on one of the young boys now. Like, let's get it back, get the spotlights back on some of the younger talent, which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing, having vets in these sorts of roles, because of all talent and all companies benefit from something like that. But it's been on an older talent now for like, what, 6-8 months, something like that.
Like 8 months or so.
Let's go through the cycle again. Daniel Garcia versus Adam Copeland. Where do we think that should happen? Because I'm all for it being a Dynasty.
Yeah, I feel like Dynasty could be like, because like, what comes after Dynasty? Isn't it Double or Nothing? Or did I make that up?
No, it's Dynasty. Okay, I was like,
yeah. I don't know. I feel like Dynasty could be a good crowning moment, because I know we've talked about this previously in the past. But like, you know how AEW has a problem where they don't capitalize on the stars whenever they're like red hot, and just kind of either wait too long, you know, to like actually like crown them or push them, or, you know, and then it's like, what now? Like, you know. Yeah. But I could definitely see it happening at Dynasty. I do feel like there are some people that might say, oh, it's like, oh, that's too soon. But like, Dynasty is like still like a month away. How many weeks away? 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Plus, like, I feel like we should start normalizing short title reigns. Like, every title reign does not need to be long as shit. Like, I'm so sorry, but like, there, you know, it'd be a fun, like, you know, a fun little run, but they really do need to start normalizing shorter title reigns, because
absolutely,
brother, nobody wants the championship held hostage for
13 months.
13 months, yeah, or something like that. I don't know. So
I don't know whose title reign you're talking about, but that was a little bit spiteful from me.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. I think that I agree 100%. We need to normalize short title reigns in wrestling again, because not everything needs to be this epic 400 days, like defending the belt loads or not defending the belt loads. And it's like, it's okay to have short reigns. It's okay to have transitional champions, especially with a talent like Adam Copeland. Being a transitional champion with the TNT belt, where he has a fun reign for 4 months, where he does like 4 or 5 title defenses, is not going to hurt him. Like, it's, if anything, he's going to elevate Danny by doing something like that. I've just kind of assumed it's Danny winning, so that's why I'm talking about Danny in this position. But yeah, like in AEW, like in all major wrestling companies right now, there is not enough like hot potato winner titles, and I know it's kind of hypocritical because if you go back through my tweets, I've talked about how I don't like titles being hot potatoed, but that's when they were bouncing around like constantly all over the place in companies, and now we've swung the pendulum too far the other way. So I need something fun, fresh, a little bit shorter, and it's okay, man. Like, getting more lineage on a belt is never a bad thing when it's all booked and utilized in the right way.
Mm-hmm.
And the TNT title, man, it's a TV title. TV titles are like historically titles that bounce around a lot. So if there's ever a belt to do it in AEW, this is the one they should do it with, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. I feel like it's just you like whenever you said like not everything like title reign needs to be an epic. Like that's so true. Like sometimes it's just there's nothing. I mean, I feel like there's nothing wrong personally with short title reigns. It's just it could be fun as long as it's like booked correctly, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. We have got some super chats. So before we move on, I'm going to go through some of these. Thank you very much. Please do keep them coming. Matt Reichel, $4.99. Hey Charlie and Alexia, hope your weekend is good. Thoughts on Supercard of Honor and the card so far? We will get there shortly. It is on our list of topics, so stay tuned. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you, Matt. Kev Bones, $1.99. Gogback, how y'all feel about Mercedes so far? I think she is incredible. She is so talented. I've loved seeing her in AEW so far. It's been very surreal. I'm glad that she's not just had like a month of cutting promos and not really doing anything. They're already hinting at storylines and possible directions for her, which I think is great. I think the only miss they've had so far is not having more backstage segments with her interacting with talent, because she is like, speaking from a standpoint of jumps from a different company, she is like the biggest acquisition they've had in a while. So I think they need to capitalize off that more and have her in some more backstage segments, not even just with the women, have her interacting with the men. Like she's got history with some people in that locker room. Like they can do the bit with Okada as well. Like there's a lot that they can dig into with this. What do you think, Lixu?
No, I think yes, we always choke. No, I think you're right about that. Like, I think she's like been doing like so good so far. It is so surreal seeing her though, like on AEW, and it's just like I want to see more of her, and I think it's like really cool how they had her like open the shows, like back to back both Dynamites, and so it's like I want to see like I like how they're presenting her as the star that she is because she is a star. Like I think she's phenomenal, and it makes me so happy. But it is kind of like it is really cool how they're actually like implementing seeds for future storylines and future matches going along instead of just rushing everything last minute, which is something that I feel like has been improved a lot in this past few months. Like just like the build up to matches, storylines, or like shows, pay-per-views. But
I do agree. Kyle, 20 pesos. Happy GOG Day. Happy GOG Day to all of you watching. We do love a GOG Day, which is a very funny sentence to say. And Lil Smoke, $1.99. Thank you, Smoke. Good to see you. And he's got the little arm emojis. Thanks for your support. Please do keep the super chats coming as we are live, especially if you've got like burning questions. We are a bit more like go with the flow with putting stuff up from the chat on the streams, but the super chats are always appreciated. So let's talk Dynasty though, because we kind of been talking around it a little bit with Adam Copeland versus Daniel Garcia for the TNT belt. That's one of the matches we believe is probably going to get booked. But let's talk about one that is booked and the only official match for the show so far right now, I think, which is William Ospreay versus Bryan Danielson.
Oh,
and I almost said for the AEW World Championship because that's just where my brain is at with these talents. But no, it's not for a belt. But it is going to be. You could. I'm good. It is going to be one hell of a match. Bryan versus Ospreay is very. I'm glad that they're not like holding off on these sorts of matches because of their roster so deep. Like Ospreay coming in, there's a whole myriad of like dream matches and like rematches and first time matches that he can be having. That like doing Bryan straight away, especially knowing Bryan's on his semi-retirement tour, is a really good shout, I think. And the match is going to be something quite insane. I'm very, very excited for this. And the build's been great so far, I think. Like, getting multiple Shibata matches out of a build makes it good in my book. So, how are you feeling about it? What's your excitement levels? Like, what are we, like 2-3 weeks out of Dynasty?
I think it's like a month from today, like 4 weeks from today. Hold on. It's on the 21st,
yeah, no,
right?
that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how time works anymore.
Yeah. But it's like, 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks away. But close enough. This match, I'm so glad they like you know how like I mentioned it before, like how they've been like doing a really good job at like, you know, building and like road to. I'm really glad they announced this in advance because it's like it makes me think if they were so like eager to announce this before anything else, it makes me wonder what the rest of the card is going to look like if they're like, yeah, this is the first announcement we're going to go with. So it's like, what could possibly be better or like cooler than having like Danielson versus Ospreay like at Dynasty? So I'm really excited. I think it's going to be a super fun match. I'm really excited to see what it's going to look like. An Ospreay Danielson match.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun, but like, I don't know. I'm like,
yeah, there's a lot of different ways this match could go, and I think a lot of it depends on whether it's a collaborative effort to put it together, whether Bryan lets Ospreay lead, or whether Ospreay has Bryan lead it. Because all three of those are very different matchups. Like I think you're gonna be able to tell who's put more of the ideas together, like once we see it happen. But I think all three matches are very, like, all three possible matches we could get out of this are very different, but they're all very good matches as well. Obviously, it's Will Ospreay and Bryan Danielson. Like, unless something really bad goes wrong, I don't see them having a bad match on the night. And like, we've already gotten Bryan Danielson versus Katsuyori Shibata, which is a match I never thought we would see on Dynamite, not even on Dynamite, on AEW. Like, so I'm very happy we've gotten that. We're getting the Ospreay Shibata rematch, which I'm really interested to see what that looks like on Wednesday. Like, that's going to have a very different energy to it, a very special energy, I think. And who knows what else they're getting, like what they book at in the build up to this. But a lot of the back and forth so far has just been, I'm the better wrestler, which is, with these two wrestlers, which is a very viable feud to have.
Yeah.
Like, they're just trying to one up each other. They're just both trying to prove that they're the best. Ospreay's telling Bryan that his shoes are too small for him to walk in. Like, I don't know. I'm really excited about it. I feel like both men are having very stellar performances in the build, and I need another face-to-face after the Ospreay Shibata match. Now that they've had like some individual promos where they're going back and forth and like taking shots or whatever, I need another face-to-face so they can get a little bit more spiteful with it. It was all very happy-go-lucky, which is a great way. It was a fine way to start the feud. It was good. But I need some fire. I need some fire in a face-to-face. Like, if like, I'm already sold on the match. I was sold on the match when I was fantasy booking it about 8 months ago. Like, you don't need to sell people like us on the match. But I want to see what they would do in a face-to-face to sell people who might not be so sure on it. So, I'm interested what they do with that. What do you think?
Sorry, I was eating. You caught me mid-bite.
Give her a second. As she's finishing a little snack, I'm going to throw up the super chat we have. Kyle, 50 pesos. Thank you very much. Not an Ospreay guy, but I am very interested in seeing how Bryan versus Ospreay looks like. Yeah, I feel like there's a lot that they could do with this match, and it all depends on, like I said, who has the main input on structure, whether they go 50-50 with that, how much time they get. Like, there's a lot of factors going into this that could affect what the match actually looks like.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's go.
No. Sorry. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Overall, I think it's just going to be fun, regardless of what, you know, how you're talking about like the different dynamics, how the 3 different ways it could go. I think like it's gonna be really beast. I'm really excited. I do want to see like, you know, more of like what they'll have up their sleeve leading up to it, like what matches they're gonna, you know, they're gonna book, because it's I don't know. I'm just really glad like that this was announced, because this is something that we've talked about for like the longest time, and it's like, oh my gosh, imagine this. Can you imagine how this would look like? Where it's like we don't have to imagine anymore because it's actually happening. So it's like,
yeah, just is crazy. Like this, like there's a lot of matches I'm just like, damn, this might happen at some point, but I don't know how we get here because they're in different companies and whatever. And when Ospreay came into AEW, this was one of those matches I was just like, please, for the love of God, do this as soon as possible. And then they did. So thanks, Tony. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Tony.
But the rest of the Dynasty card is up in the air because they haven't confirmed any of the matches, but it feels pretty obvious that we're getting that Swerve Strickland versus Samoa Joe singles match. And this one is for the AEW World Championship. And I think we've been waiting for it. We've been asking for it. I think it's Swerve's time. I think he is going to win that belt come Dynasty. But before that, he has to face Konosuke Takeshita on Wednesday, which is what a match to book. And if you watch the
inspired booking,
yeah, if you watch the Thursday podcast, you already know that I think that this is them setting seeds for Ospreay versus Swerve at All In, because obviously the Don Callis family connections. Ospreay's already beaten Takeshita, and he can just confront Swerve in a promo and be like, look, I've beaten the guys you've beaten, and I've beaten someone you couldn't, if Ospreay beats Bryan at Dynasty. So lots of interesting stuff there. But Swerve Strickland, hell of an AEW run, especially these past 6 months. Like the feud with Hangman, to the triple threat at Revolution, to like his running the Continental Classic. I know that happened before Revolution, but and now like this singles feud with Joe. He's had a great like run in AEW recently.
You know, he has, and I'm just like, whenever you said like, I think this is Swerve's time. I love Samoa Joe. I love him to death. He's like one of my favorites like ever. And I think he's done a phenomenal job as champion. Like he's carried himself like a champion. He just looks like a champion, and that's
absolutely.
But like, you know, Swerve, I need Swerve to win. Like, it'd be pretty cool though, like how you were saying about like planting the seeds for Ospreay versus Swerve. That would rule. Oh my god, that would be a great match between both of them. Just even in general, like it's just Takeshita versus Swerve. That's also like another like.
Like when we talk about the roster being deep, this is what I mean, because like these are crazy matchups to just like throw on a show. Like I think the Swerve Ospreay match, we will see that at All In Wembley Stadium this August. What a main event for Wembley that would be, my goodness. But yeah, I think this is Swerve's time. As you said, Joe's been an absolutely phenomenal champion. A real breath of fresh air with that title, because of it went through some shit in the past 2 years.
It was held hostage.
We've had quite the ride with AEW World Champions recently, but yeah, Joe carries himself as a champion. I just wish that he had had a few more TV defenses, and obviously we've got some time before Dynasty, so I'd like to see at least one more if they can squeeze it in. But even without them, man, like he's just done the belt, the world of good, and he's done the world title scene a world of good. So very, very excited about that. You got anything more on Swerve, Joe? Or are we ready to talk about other potential matches?
I'm good on that. I do want to see them low key though. Like, you know, before Dynasty comes, I low key want to see them run back Hook versus Joe, even though I know it's like it's a very self-indulgent match. Like I just want to see that again, because I was like, that Joe Hook match is just And also to
It
try
was
to
real
get Hook
good.
away from Jericho too. So it's like,
Please God, yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely need to see Joe away from Jericho away
oh,
from Hook.
yes.
Oh, just
What a
saying names at
nightmare.
this
What
point.
a
My goodness.
nightmare.
But yeah, I think Swerve winning a Dynasty is going to be hell of a moment. Hell of a moment. Other matches for Dynasty. There's trying to think if there's anything else like very very obvious. I feel like the women's match is thankfully like for the world title, the women's world title isn't going to be a submission match anymore. That was what it kind of felt like it was leading to, but it actually feels like it could end up being a fatal four-way with Tony Storm, Timeless Tony, Deonna Purrazzo, Thunder Rosa, and Mariah May.
All right, May.
Which is it's going to be an interesting dynamic. I don't think Tony loses the belt here, but I do think they set up some tension between her and Mariah, and maybe Mariah breaks up a pin where Tony almost wins, or something like that. We'll see what happens, but I think a fatal four-way at Dynasty is probably the best direction they could go with like the women currently involved in this title scene, because I'm not exactly desperate for another Deonna versus Tony singles match. I think Thunder Rosa is still shaking off some ring rust, so putting her in multi-mans is the way to go right now. And I don't think you do the Tony Mariah singles match yet. So a fatal four-way feels like the right choice, in my opinion.
Yeah, I was kind of like worried about like where they were gonna go at first with like if they were gonna do like a submission rematch between like Tony and Deonna, but like they added like looks like they're gonna add Thunder Rosa to it and stuff. So it's like for this title, like this women's title scene, I think it's pretty like good so far, because I feel like for sure we might get like a TBS, like a TBS one with that, and that's the one that I'm like, okay, it's building up like that build up. I like it's pretty nice. It's
Oh,
I know, I was like, oh. All right, I got it. Yeah. Sorry, you guys. I think Charlie is okay. She's good.
don't worry about it. I had to switch AirPods because if it kept cutting out, I think it's died. Either way, what was you saying about the title? TBS.
Yeah, the TBS title. I feel like that's also going to be like, hopefully, and I'm saying hopefully because it's like in my mind, I've convinced myself that they're going to have the Mercedes, Julia Hart, Willow, Chris, Sky Blue, their little, storylines too happening at Dynasty. But I don't know. I feel like I really like how they're building the storyline with Mercedes and Willow though, and like Chris too.
Yeah, there's a lot of potential with that. Like I've seen some people like not being a big fan of the fact that there's like so many red herrings and uncertainty in who's turning. But I prefer that. Like I don't need it always spelled out for me. So I'm interested to see what ends up being the Dynasty match and who Julia ends up facing, or whether they end up running another multi-man, which in this situation, I'm not opposed to. I think it would work. Like you could have both women's matches be multi-mans, and it's like that works for the current stories that they're telling. And as much as I love the Timeless Tony gimmick for the most part, and I think Julia's done honestly a commendable job, like being as young as she is and holding a title already in her AEW career. I'm ready to see some like less gimmicky wrestlers holding the two belts in the women's division, or at least one of them. So I think Mercedes is probably winning that TBS belt sooner rather than later, and that's really exciting because it's another TV title, and I would love to see her do her own Cope Open. Like, let's have her do an open challenge.
Like living in a world where we would have like Daniel Garcia as a TNT title and Mercedes Moné as a TBS, like with the TBS title. So good. But yeah, I wouldn't even be opposed to the idea of like Willow or like, winning it too and have that lead into like a whole like storyline between it's just like
Mm-hmm.
the Willow and Mercedes instead of having everyone else involved. But like,
we'll see. We will see.
We'll see.
I am excited for Willow versus Mercedes too. Like, we didn't get to see the full potential of their match at Resurgence last year, because obviously Mercedes got injured. But I think they could do something special in the right building, in the right with the right crowd. Like, they could do something real special in AEW. So I'm very interested in that. I just want to see Mercedes in the ring. I miss watching her wrestle so much.
Yes, I missed her. I'm just so glad she's back. She's healthy. Like, good for her. Good for, like, you know. I can't wait to see her wrestle. Whoever, like, the first, like, person. Like, do you think she'll wrestle? Like, she has to wrestle before the pay-per-view, right? Like, leading up to it. But who do you think would be, like, the first person that she would wrestle with? Have a match against?
I think... Damn. I was assuming it'd be... Whoa. I was assuming it would be some sort of tag match. But with this whole dynamic with Chris and Willow and, like, who would be the third for, like, Julia and Sky if they did a 6-woman, like... So, I don't know, like, it's become a bit online, especially. It's just like, oh, we don't have a women's match announced? Wait for that Sky Blue match to be announced.
Yeah.
But I honestly... I don't think Sky Blue is necessarily a bad choice. Like, she's reliable, like, she's done the work, like, she's proved that she deserves spots like this, because, like, yeah, man, there's other talent I want to see Mercedes wrestle, but when it comes to her first TV match, if you want to put her in there with a Sky Blue and seeing what Sky Blue can do with someone like Mercedes Moné, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. I think it could be an interesting match.
Yeah. I wouldn't be opposed to that either. I feel like Sky has definitely improved a lot, like, you know, recently, and it's like something that's like visible, like you can tell. And so that would be a pretty fun match.
Yes, I do think so. I think I also pitched on Thursday about Stat turning heel, and having Mercedes and Willow team up against Stat and a debuting Megan Bayne, which I think someone's also just put in chat. So I'm glad we all agree on this. All two of us.
All of us. Yes.
Yeah, all of us. I'm glad we agree on this. But yeah, I think that is a very interesting tag match. I want to see Mercedes in with people like that as well. Like, I just want to see her wrestle Stat, to be honest.
Yes. Dude, Chris Statlander versus Mercedes Moné would just, like, change the world. It would change my world.
It would rock my world. Like, that is a match for the girlies. Like, if you know, you know. Oh. Yeah. Right, we've got a super chat. Let's have a look. Jordan Amos, £2 super chat. Thank you. Thoughts on Will and Shibata versus BCC before the pay-per-view? I was gonna say, I don't know how you get there, as if Brian isn't in the BCC.
Yeah.
So
he's BCC adjacent at this point.
Yeah. Thoughts? I have none, because of my brain would just stop working, to be honest. I would love to see that.
That would be fun. Oh my God, speaking of BCC, I know this is like so, like, I miss Yuta. I'm just like, I miss him. I miss that guy. I want to see him again. But Will Shibata versus, like, Claudio and Moxley, I'm assuming, because I don't know if as much as I love Yuta, I don't know if I would want to see Will and Shibata versus, like, Claudio and, like, Yuta, you know. I want to see Claudio and Mox versus. I would rule.
I just want to see Will and Claudio in the ring together.
Oh my gosh. You know what? I never thought about that until, like, right now. I forgot that they can do that because they're both in the same roster now. Like,
hell yeah, they can. Hell yeah, they can.
Oh my God.
It's crazy. You forget, like, the sort, like, because you go to, like, the immediate dream matches for people, and you forget about all these, like, little hidden gems that they can run. We're gonna have to do that as, like, a podcast episode at some point. Just, like, what are like the most insane matches that people don't think about that AEW could run? Like we could do that as a segment on a podcast at some point. Not right now because I'm not prepared for that. But back to before we go back to AEW Dynasty. Thank you for the super chat so far. Please do keep sending them and like and subscribe if you haven't already. I see some familiar faces in chat. I just want to say hi to Charlie. I miss you. Please come to a wrestling show again soon. I miss you. Back to Dynasty though. Who do we think Okada's facing? Do we think that they're saving the Pac match?
Pac, most likely.
Yeah.
I feel like
I just saw a comment I have to talk about in a minute. Anyways, continue.
Yeah, Pac versus. Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that one too. But no, Okada versus Pac. I don't know if they might. Oh, I would like to see that, but I don't know if they'll hold off into Dynasty because, like, they might just throw it randomly on like a Collision or a Dynamite leading up to it. But like, I really hope not because that actually is like a very pay-per-view caliber like match.
Mm-hmm.
So
Pac's like, he's such a fucking good wrestler, man. Like, oh, I miss seeing him wrestle like on a consistent basis. So I hope he has some good matches on the lead up to Dynasty. And honestly, I thought Okada Eddie was the Dynasty match. So them throwing Pac versus Okada on a Dynamite or a Collision really would not shock me.
Mm-hmm.
But I do hope that they hold off on it because I think Pac, like, no wrestler deserves a spot on a pay-per-view. But if anyone ever did, I want to see Pac on the pay-per-view. Like, he's missed out on so many cool moments in AEW. Mm-hmm. Like, let's get him on Dynasty and let's have him have a 18-minute match with Okada because I'm very interested to see what it looks like. But if it's not Pac, who would Okada wrestle at Dynasty?
Kyle O'Reilly.
Ah!
Sorry, I just want to see Kyle versus everyone.
Like, I want to see Kyle versus everyone.
Just Kyle versus the whole roster. Yes.
We're doing a Kyle O'Reilly segment right now. Sorry, I'm pausing everything else. We are talking about Kyle O'Reilly. Oh my god, if you have any questions about Kyle O'Reilly, please send them now because this is the segment.
This is the moment. This is where you ask your questions because,
dude, I'm so happy he's back. And the fact that they had him interacting with Shibata backstage, run that match on Supercard of Honor. Just do it. I don't care if it's pure rules. Like, I will sit for a pure rules match for Shibata versus Kyle O'Reilly because I need that in 2024. That's crazy. I never thought we'd get to see those two wrestle again.
Yeah, dude. Oh my god. Oh! I wouldn't be opposed to the idea of an Okada versus Kyle O'Reilly match though, because that's like, but like just Kyle O'Reilly in general, just put him in with anyone, low key, and I'll watch. I mean, Kyle O'Reilly versus Jeff Jarrett, I would watch that. You would have to watch that. You would have to watch that. Kyle O'Reilly versus like Adam Copeland, Kyle O'Reilly. Then you got Brian Keith, but like Kyle O'Reilly versus like. I would love to see him versus Commander. Like, I want to see him versus like, anyone who else like
Kyle O'Reilly versus Bandito.
Yeah,
I think that could be so much fun.
Yes, like I just want to see Kyle wrestle like everyone who he didn't get a chance to wrestle before he like he was gone. Man, I love that man.
Me too. He's just. I've always had a soft spot for Kyle O'Reilly. He was always my favorite member of like Undisputed Era, like throughout all the iterations. Like every time he was involved with Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly was my favorite member of that faction. He's just been one of my like low-key one of my favorite wrestlers for like the better part of a decade. Like
he's a comfort wrestler for me. Like it's just like no matter what, nobody got me. Kyle O'Reilly got me.
This is such an us match. Carl versus Daniel Garcia. Did I pitch that match? I pitched Danny versus someone for All In, and it just kind of it was Danny versus Alex Shelley, which is also just a But yeah, Carl versus DG, I'm very with that. Kyle O'Reilly versus Takeshita.
Kyle O'Reilly versus
Yes.
Claudio. Oh my god, Kyle versus Kyle.
This is the match that inspired this conversation, by the way. This is the message.
Comment.
Who else we got? Yeah, the comment. O'Reilly versus Fletcher for the name Carl, yeah. Versus Sabin or Shelley. Who else? Who else you found out? Oh, you know what? That's not until May, that taping. So now frick.
Man.
They could still do that without the TNT title, to be fair.
To be fair, yeah. Dude, you gotta see Kyle O'Reilly versus the Luchadors. Like, I just want to see.
Yes. Kyle O'Reilly versus Danielson.
Yes. Danielson's my favorite luchador, obviously. Yeah.
Sorry, that was so unrelated to what you had said. I just saw it. I was just like, yes, that one. But yeah, I want to see him wrestle luchadors. I want to see him wrestle some international talent. Let's get him back in there with some of the Japanese guys. I want to see him. Roosh, yes. I want to see Kyle O'Reilly wrestle Connor Mills, and it's not just because I'm biased in the fact that I'm a Connor Mills fan. It's because Mills wrestles with such like a Nigel McGuinness style, and I don't know whether they would ever book Kyle O'Reilly versus Nigel McGuinness. So this is as close as I'm gonna get. I just love Connor Mills as well, and I feel like it would be very special to me. It would be special to me. Who else you guys? Oh, Kyle O'Reilly versus Mark Briscoe.
That would be fun. That would be
this really is just fun. Us being massive marks for
Kyle O'Reilly.
Kyle O'Reilly. Kyle versus Luke Jacobs. Yes. Dude. Yes. I'm a fan of that. Oh, I don't know what I just... Yeah, Kyle O'Reilly Derby rematch. I am putting multiple comments up at the same time. Was Kyle O'Reilly versus Okada said yet? Yes? No? Yes? Yes, you did say that. Okada treating Kyle like how he treats the younger guys and getting shown up would be great. That would be a very interesting dynamic. Wow, if there was ever a me match to throw into such a Kyle O'Reilly versus Gabe Kidd. I almost said something that I'm not going to expose myself, but you know who I'm thinking. Anyways, there is someone that we have very intentionally avoided mentioning because I feel like this could end up being the Dynasty match. Kyle O'Reilly versus Roderick Strong. Do you reckon they're going to go this route for Dynasty?
I think so. Just because it's like so far what they've shown, like the interactions between Undisputed Kingdom and like and Kyle, it's just kind of like even Adam Cole, like the segments that he's had, not once has he mentioned or brought up or even acknowledged that like Kyle's back. So it's like. No. Connecting the dots.
The dots are being connected.
The dots are being connected. But that would be such a fun match, though. Yeah. Like, I know they had their little heartfelt, like, hug reunion at Revolution, but, like...
Yes, I do agree. I feel like... It wouldn't surprise me if it was on Dynasty, but it also wouldn't surprise me if they held off a little bit and waited until Double or Nothing. I am a little bit shocked. We have yet to have a Roderick Strong TV defense. I know there was no collision this week, but Tony Khan, why is Roderick Strong not allowed to wrestle at the rate that Orange Cassidy was? Or even just, like, not even just at the rate that Orange Cassidy was. Like, the international belt very much became the belt that we saw on every show. Why is he not wrestling, like, at least once every 2 weeks? Like... What's going on? We're like 3 weeks removed from Revolution and we have yet to see a TV defense. So I would like to see Roderick Strong in a match this coming Dynamite. Book him against pretty much anyone, to be honest, and I will be happy.
Against, I don't know, just throw like a random guy in there. Oh my god, wait. Roderick Strong versus Matt Sydal. I want to see that. I want to see it. Just book it for Wednesday. Who cares? It's just
Did they run that on a Rampage recently, or is it just something that we have fantasy booked?
I don't know. I don't know if we fantasy booked it or not. Hello? Okay. Sorry. I don't know if we fantasy booked it or not, but like Roddy versus Matt would be really fun. It
Yeah.
was on a Collision. Yeah, just run it back again on a Dynamite. Yeah.
I don't know. Did I watch that Collision?
I don't
Probably.
think I did.
I don't know. Please. Oh, JJ, why would you say things like this? A little worried we might immediately get to the now banished Wardlow versus Roddy. Well, I mean,
Wardlow.
I'm pretty sure I've seen that on PWG. You probably have.
Yeah.
That's a very
Run
PWG.
it back again.
Yeah, man. It was on Dynamite, I think. Guys,
Yes, we just want him to run it back. Like, at this
Yeah.
point, like, that's just, I love him. So I want to see more of him, of Matt.
Yes.
Sydal.
Of Matt, yeah. Matt Sydal's great.
Mhm.
But yeah, as it goes for Roderick Strong and that team international belt, I don't know how long he's going to hold on to it. I could see them. Again, there's nothing wrong with a short reign. I just wish if they are doing a short reign, that he gets a few more defenses in beforehand. But I don't know that I would absolutely not be upset at Kyle O'Reilly winning the belt. But that would also, it'd be fascinating to see him with a belt in AEW because he was out for so long. But clearly, there's a lot of matches we want to see him wrestle, so fuck it. Belt him up.
Yeah, belt him up, push him, whatever. Just
book it.
Book it right now.
Yes.
No.
What haven't we talked about Dynasty yet? The tag team tournament.
Oh yeah.
Which I'm endlessly scared about. It's been something, hasn't it?
It's. I don't even put this like it's been a tournament that's been done. That's been wrestling.
Yeah, I will say the Hobbs Fletcher versus Orange Cassidy versus Trent. So Beretta. I did it again. Fuck's sake! I even actively thought about that. The Kyle Fletcher and Will Hobbs versus Trent Beretta and Orange Cassidy match.
There you go.
I think that's been the best match of the tournament so far. Like, I know there's not been that many, but yeah, I think that they had a really great match that people aren't talking about, which is kind of weird. But I'm excited for Private Party and the Young Bucks to run it back, but the outcome of that is scary because if the Bucks win, I'm absolutely terrified that FTR are also going to like get to the finals and they're going to run Bucks FTR 4. But I would love for that to be a red herring, putting them on opposite sides of the brackets. Please, for the love of God, don't.
No.
just don't do it. Like, it always works better when the Bucks are heels, but I don't want to see the match again at the moment. I feel like they've run it several times quite close together.
Too soon.
I don't know. And it just feels like the tag division's getting very formulaic in that way. Like, we keep going back to the same shit. And I'm saying that as if I don't want the Bucks to win, but I want to see them wrestle a bunch of like up and coming like tag teams like with this new gimmick. All In was very unfortunate. As someone that was in the crowd, I was like, damn, this is damn. Like, but yeah, I don't know. I hope that we're being red herringed and that's not going to be the match. I would love for it to be Bucks top flight, Private Party top flight. Like, I don't know, just something.
Dude, I wouldn't even mind the infantry winning either. Like, I just change it up. Like, toss something in there that you wouldn't expect from the that the crowd wouldn't expect, because it's like you said, like they ran FTR Bucks already like so close together. Like, just they give it time to breathe. If you're gonna run it back again, like, don't do it right now, because for me it's still very like fresh, even though it was back in August or whatever. But it's like, I want to see more of the younger teams. Like, I was low key, I was like, I love kind of unpopular opinion, but I like House of Black. Brody King and like Buddy Matthew are like really good tag team. You know, get them away from he who must not be named. Just give up. And anyways, but like I'm so happy whenever the infantry won, like with that upset. I was not expecting that just because like in my head I'm like, oh, it'd be kind of cool, like if the infantry won. But then another part of me like was just like, oh, they're most likely gonna go with House of Black. Sorry, Charlie.
I was gonna say I was laughing because of I know that Charlie is a massive Malachi Black person. He was just making me laugh.
I don't hate him. I just love Brody King and Buddy Matthew more. But Brody King is like my guy. I love him. Yeah. I wasn't expecting the infantry to win, and whenever they did win, I was like, this is what they need more of. Like more just shaking it up, like having, more. Right, 14 pages. It's real. I just want more. Like I don't want to say like chaos, but like chaos on it. Like I want to see more like the stuff that we haven't seen before, like from the tag team division.
Take some risks. Like be exciting about it. I do think that the Bucks are probably winning the whole thing. Like no matter who they end up facing at Dynasty. And based on the fact that we have some fresh free agents on the market at that time that we have talked about, Missouri, you might be getting some Motor City Machine Guns. I know nothing about this. This is not a scoop. This is me being delusional enough to hope that my boys show up at Dynasty and confront the Bucks because, oh my God. There is nothing that I need more than one more Young Bucks versus Motor City Machine Guns match.
Dude, I would kill for them to run that back. But just like Motor City Machine Guns would be like such a good inclusion to the tag team division because like how we were just talking about like just add some like how do you say it like I don't know how you say it. Yeah. Girl, English is not my first language. I was struggling. I was like, how the fuck can you say that? No, but like it would be pretty cool because I feel like, it's the Motor City Machine Guns. You can't go wrong with them. You cannot go wrong with Alex Shelley, Chris Sabin. Like as tag teams or as singles, I think they're phenomenal. And I just I need them to run that back though, the Motor City Machine Guns.
I agree, absolutely, and it's just like a breath of fresh air for the AEW Tag division. They can help out the younger talent. They can have some interesting feuds with people that they've met before. And listen, man, they can run back Bucks, Motor City Machine Guns, because you've also got the interesting dynamic of Okada being there, and then they all have history in TNA. Like it's all connected. It's like I'm connecting the dots. But they genuinely could be the thing that like finally ties the AEW Tag division back together because it's been so stop start recently, and they are dynamic enough to work with any sort of talent. I've never seen them have a bad type of match with people. Like they can do your brawling walks, they can do your lucha, they can do the I know exactly what match you're thinking of. They can do all like the dynamic stuff, and like they can help out with the young talent. Like they are just great people to have in your locker room, both and as tags and singles. As you said, like Sabin and Shelley are incredible singles wrestlers that make a phenomenal tag team. So I'm very excited to see what happens. This is a really good point. Starks and Bill versus the Bugs would be absurd too. Yes, it would be. That would be quite nuts, to be honest. I love Big Bill. Get him back in the ring. I miss that man.
Yeah.
We are big stands around here, predominantly because we listened to him talk at the media scrum, and we're just like, damn, he's talking from the heart right now. He won us over. What do you think has made it so stop-start? Girl, there are so many factors. Like, I don't want to say that the FTR babyface title run is like the main factor, but there was a period of time that they were working with talent that they were not having good matches with, and it was quite unfortunate. And then they put together some tag teams that they could have good matches with, which thank God for that, because the tag division needed those Bullet Club Gold matches. Let me tell you that. Yeah, there was a lot, like tag teams breaking up, like losing Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. Like the Lucha Bros being injured, Ray Phoenix being injured, Mark Davis being injured, like Ricky and Hobbs breaking up, Swerve and Our Glory breaking up, Acclaimed being sucked into the trios titles forever, like just like, you know, there's like a whole lot of stuff like that has gone into the tag division to like cause there's so many issues, and every time I feel like it's getting back on track, something happens, but it feels like this time we might be back. We really might be back. We spoke about this on a podcast recently. Is Ray still out? I don't know if he's cleared just yet, but his return match has been announced. He's wrestling Penta at the beginning of June. I thought it was in May, and I thought the match was already announced. So now I'm convinced we spoiled something on that watch along, but I have no idea.
I think
they're wrestling at the old Lucha Underground venue, which is awesome.
That one rules. Let's see. I think like another thing that also like kind of hurt the division as well is like whenever like they added the trios titles as well.
Yes.
Just because at first it ruled, but then that also like took away a lot of teams like that were just like. But
yes, I do agree. I love the trios titles for a period of time, like the stuff with Death Triangle and the Elite. It's just my biases. Like when they're involved with people that I'm like really big fans of, I thought they were great, but having the Ring of Honor 6-mans be on the shows all the time as well, it's gotten real messy.
Yeah.
So. Okay. House of Glory is also doing Phoenix versus Penta.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the one I was thinking of, the Cinco de Mayo show. Yeah, I was like, yeah.
Yeah, because we talked about that on the Wednesday watch along, and I could not for the life of me remember where it was running. And then when I met up with my friend Tom the other day, they were like, "Oh, they've just announced Phoenix versus Penta like at the beginning of June." I was just like, "What? Did I spoil something on the watch along? What the fuck?" But no, it's just happening twice in a short amount of time. Anyways, tag division needs a heel Roppongi Vice. Yes. I
might get that before Best Friends ever get a title. I feel like Best Friends is gonna split before they ever get one. I've been wanting for Chuck and Trent to win one so bad for the longest, but like 25 beats me, so I don't ever see that happening. I'll take heel Roppongi Vice though, because that would rule.
It would be fucking sick. Like, I think Rocky's just such an underrated talent to have around, and we say that on almost every Wrestle Purist podcast ever, so he's not underrated around these parts, but in general I feel like people don't show enough love to Rocky Romero. But that's pretty much what have I got. Oh, it is a super chat. That's pretty much the Dynasty cards so far, like that, like we kind of can talk about without purely speculating.
Yeah, I was say maybe like, you know how they had that JY and like the Bang Bang Gang had that like that vignette thing playing before, like, how Juice was just like in the background of that. So I feel like that might also lead to like, you know, the Acclaimed versus Bang Bang Gang, just like a trios unification title thing. Maybe I just me speculating, but like I wouldn't mind it, especially to kind of get rid of like the excessive, you know, trios titles. Excessive. They only have 2, but like
too many.
Too many.
Yeah, I definitely think there's a unification match on the cards. I actually wouldn't be surprised if Tony threw that on Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor. So that could potentially either be Dynasty or Supercard of Honor, and neither would surprise me. Chi-Town Spurs, $5 super chat. Thank you very much. If the tag title isn't Bucks FTR, who would you want it to be?
I tweeted
Bucks,
about this.
Top
Yeah.
Flight?
What's up,
Probably.
Flight? I tweeted about it. I was like, I wouldn't mind for the finals to be Private Party versus Top Flight, just because I'm just so for it, like them just throwing stuff like that you wouldn't really expect.
Yeah.
So I feel like that would be a cool little match to have, especially with like the guys like who haven't really gotten a chance to like completely prove themselves, like with the division that's like full of like older guys, or like not I want to say older like old, but like get like new fresh faces. If they're going to be the future of this company, like start investing into them right now, so that way they they get the reps, they get like everything that they need to prepare themselves for like carrying the torch of like the spirit of AEW.
I agree. Yeah, I think like Top Flight, Private Party, we've talked about this before. Like that is definitely a feud that should be like booked like throughout the next couple of years of AEW TV, like in like just AEW programming in general, because like they have been like feuding recently, and they've had a couple of matches that have been like a lot of fun, and they're both still so young, and you can build a tag team division around Top Flight and Private Party as like one of your go-to feuds. I feel like that is another element that's been missing for the tag division, like having that core like a Young Bucks versus Lucha Bros rivalry that you can always go back to, and is always going to be a great match. Like, so for Top Flight and Private Party to be in that position, I think would be really great for AEW and their long-term booking and stuff like that. Sticking with AEW, kind of not really, going more to the Ring of Honor side of things. Supercard of Honor, we have touched on it briefly. We're talking about the trios match, but that is happening April 5th. Yes, it's on the Friday of WrestleMania weekend, and we're going to get into some other shows happening that weekend, but we'll start with Supercard of Honor. So announced for that show so far, there is 3 matches. It is Eddie Kingston versus Mark Briscoe for the Ring of Honor World Championship. We have Billy Starks versus Queen Aminata for the women's TV title.
Yeah, TV title.
Yes. I couldn't remember what the belt was actually called. And then we have Athena versus Hikaru Shida for the Women's World Championship. So far, 3 matches, stacked card. They have done a good job of booking this show so far. And I know people that watch Ring of Honor weekly have been like very excited about this women's TV tournament, and there's been some really cool matches out of it. I haven't had a chance to catch Red Velvet versus Queen Aminata, I think was the recent one people were talking about, but it's on my watch list. But there's been loads of good things about it. It's been an incredible amount of TV time for women in Ring of Honor recently with this tournament, and just in general. And from what I've heard, this like both the women's matches in this have been built like really well, and I'm really excited for it. I think that Athena versus Hikaru Shida is going to be one of the best women's matches of the year on American soil, because they are both incredible wrestlers that, like, when they're given the time to go, they go.
They will go, yeah.
So I think that's going to be great. I'm not sure who wins it. I would love for Shida to win and have a title run in Ring of Honor. I think that could be really cool and something really dynamic, and she'll get a chance to wrestle people she hasn't seen wrestled before. And it also means that Athena can finally do some stuff on AEW and wrestle some women in the AEW division, because my God, if we don't get that Athena Mercedes match within the next 3 months, I'm going to be very upset. But how are you feeling about this Ring of Honor Women's World Title match?
I'm really excited, like you mentioned. Like, I really don't know how I would go on about it, but I personally would have, as much as I love Athena being the world's champion, the women's champion, like, I would have her lose here. I just bring her back on AEW as soon as possible, so we can run that Mercedes and Athena match, like, because that has like the chance to be like like one of the highest like or like the best like rated like women's match like ever, just because like these are two
Yeah.
women who like love the business, like this loves sport like so dearly. I feel like they
Yeah.
could just definitely like, you know, blow the roof off whatever like, you know, building that they're in.
Mm-hmm.
But I
And
would,
they've
I don't
never
know.
had a one-on-one singles match. So this is something they've both wanted for a while. So I genuinely think there's a lot of matches we talk about with the women's division that could main event a pay-per-view. That would be the one I circle as a pay-per-view main event, Athena versus Mercedes Moné. Because fucking hell, man. You don't even need a belt for that. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Like, they do the build right, and you will get everyone behind that match. People that know are already going to be behind that match. Like,
Yes.
it would be incredible.
And then the Queen Aminata and Billy, that could also be a really fun
Yeah.
match. Just because I'm really happy for that one. It's just because it would like both of these like matches, just the three that they announced, like out of two of them, like, you know, Athena and Billy and like Sheeta and I mixed those up. But those four ladies,
Yeah.
those both have like the potential to be like matches of the night, just because like,
Yeah.
you know, I'm personally biased because I was there at Final Battle for that main event with like Billy and Athena, and which was such a fun, like it was such a fun main event. So it's like knowing that they have like, you know, the caliber to like, you know, both matches have like the potential to be match of the night for me personally. Just like I'm really excited for that because it's like it's something that I see like AEW has always struggled with, like, you know, whenever they're booking like women's division and stuff. So to see like, you know, Ring of Honor being booked correctly with like, you know, a roster has like, in my opinion, like might be one of like the better like women's rosters like that's ever like, you know, existed. It's really cool. I'm really excited for that.
Me too. Queen Aminata has been like showing up and showing out like everywhere within AEW and Ring of Honor right now. Like she is really like hit 2024 like ground running. Like she came back from her injury and she's killed it like in the ring, out of the ring. She's currently fasting for Ramadan as well, and she's still like killing it like every week with her performances. So I have a lot of respect for her in that regard. And Billy Starks is like one of the best like all-round up-and-comers right now. Like I can't believe she's only 18. Like, and I know people talk about it a lot, but she is wise beyond her years in that ring. And I do credit a lot of that to Athena and the work they have done together, because if she's clearly been an incredible mentor for her. So I think that's going to be, they've got like such, like these two women's matches is such a good showcase of both like your veterans in the locker room having a world-class world title match, and then your young up and comers, your future generation, like having this like incredible tournament final for the TV title. So I genuinely have no qualms with whoever wins that match. I would love to see Billy get the win. I'd love to see Queen Aminata get the win. I think they'd both be incredible women's TV title champions. So
yeah, because it's like I would love to have like, you know, both Queen Aminata and Sheeta win, just so that way like you can, you know, start introducing Billy back into the AEW audience, because just kind of be like, hey, this is going to be like another pivotal part of our division, of our company, like in the years to come. You know, start like showing her to the audience who might not be familiar with like Ring of Honor, or just like her in general. It'd be a cool little like segue into bringing both women back into the AEW roster and have them like, you know, showcase what they've been able to do in Ring of Honor into like, you know, a different audience per se about this. But
yeah,
I'm excited. These are both like really fun matches. Like to think about it, it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's gonna be a really great time. The women, like we've kind of like talked around it like this entire like 10 minutes, but like the women's division in Ring of Honor is chef's kiss. It's really great stuff. The other announced match for Ring of Honor so far for Supercard of Honor is Eddie Kingston versus Mark Briscoe. And I don't know if you saw the promo that Eddie cut for this match, but he essentially was just like, chicken, I'm bringing back the old Eddie, the Eddie that don't give a fuck. And man, this match is going to be
back.
something special, because not only is it Eddie Kingston versus Mark Briscoe, it's also on the anniversary of Jay Briscoe winning the Ring of Honor World Championship when that happened. So it's going to be special, and I think Mark takes it home and wins that belt, because how does he not at this point? It's just so fitting for both his story, like the date it's on, and Eddie's story as well. Like, he's just lost the Continental belt, like the Continental Championship.
Descending down.
He is. He's descending back into madness, and we're seeing the next rise of the Mad Kings. So I think this match has potential to be something really, really special.
And I wonder what they're going to do with the tag team titles. Like, do you see, like, who do you see them having?
Oh, it's the Kingdom. I was just like,
yeah, I was about to say, like,
champions.
Because, like, who would you even have them, like, face?
A tag team that isn't in Ring of Honor, because I'm really biased. I mean, yes, but also not the answer I was actually going with.
Oh, okay.
Let's bring in CCK. For those of you that don't know who CCK are, we are talking about.
We are so fucking bad.
We are talking about Chris Brooks and Kid Lycos, who teamed together in Brit Rest for a while, and they were meant to go to Japan together, and then Lycos got injured, and it was there was a lot to it. And then CCK, they broke up, but now they're reunited in Philly for Mania weekend. And we will talk about some other matches they're going to be in, but if they book CCK on Ring of Honor, like in any capacity, like just on that card, I don't think that I could be normal about it, because I have a very special place in my heart for those two men, and them teaming together and then facing each other. Yeah, I have very strong feelings about CCK and Chris Brooks and Kid Lycos. They are great wrestlers, and they're already wrestling an AEW talent this weekend. Yeah. Because if they're wrestling Brian Keith on the DDT show, who is teaming with someone, I can't remember off the top of my head. Bear with me like 30 seconds. I have this card saved. Yeah, it's Shota and Brian Keith versus CCK on the DDT show, which we'll talk about more in depth in a second. But yeah, man. Hang on. Wait, I have Attack Pro on Mania weekend. Are Kid Lycos over in the States for the weekend? Dude, first of all, I'm also going to Attack Mania weekend, so see you there. I will be at both shows. But yeah, Kid Lycos and Kid Lycos 2, they're both over in the States Mania weekend. I haven't seen them got any bookings for the Saturday, Sunday, but I'm assuming they're staying for the whole time. Yeah, man. How have you missed this? It's all that Lycos has talked about online recently. But yeah, I would love to see... to be honest, that's like those guys like CCK, man like DeReese, real big fan. I would love to see him get a Ring of Honor booking. Who else is going over? I'm gonna have a quick scroll through the Progress Twitter page, which is hilarious sentence to say out loud. But yeah, man, who do you think for the Kingdom? Now that I've got my little gushing about my boys out the way.
Wait, what about the Kingdom? I like blanked. I was like,
who would you want to see him face?
Girl, I want to see best friends like face everyone. I wouldn't be opposed to. I know they're like, you know, in the tournament for like the AEW tag team, but if they're not gonna win that, at least like, you know, I don't know. Actually, I take that back. I don't know who I would want them to see or who I would want them to face, because it's like it doesn't even have to be like AEW, right? Because it is just Mania week. Oh,
who else we got? Oh, Luke Jacobs is going to be in the States Mania weekend. Let's throw him on the Ring of Honor card. I feel like they could do something fun with that. There's a few talents on here that I don't think would get bookings, so I'm just not going to be spiteful and not name. Oh my god, you could do the Kingdom versus Sunshine Machine, which is a tag team from over here in the UK that I am, again, a massive fan of. Sunshine Machine is really underrated, I think. But yeah, there's some cool talent coming over. But I don't know what else will be on the Supercard of Honor show. I think there's potential for that Shibata Kylo riding match. I feel like there's real potential on that. The trio 6-man unification. Kyle Fletcher.
Cool. Yeah, I was supposed to say Kyle.
Yes,
hold on. Before we get any further, low key, I was supposed to say the United Kingdom. Yes, the Undisputed Kingdom versus Moonlight Express would bang. Low key, Speedball versus Mao.
Yes.
Speedball and Mao versus them would low key rule. I don't know why I said United Kingdom. I was about to say, I was like, yeah, United Kingdom.
Holy shit. I forgot that Yuta was the
Yuta's
champion, the Pure Rules champion. I've been fantasy booking Shibata with that belt. Not bad for real. If Yuta's on that card, who the hell does he face?
Girl, who would you have him face a luchador? My answer
rules.
But that's like my answer, like for everything. It's versus luchadors.
Wait, I need to check. I'm just, you know what? I'm just looking at all the British talent.
How Yuta versus Echiseto? This would be like a fun little fun match.
Let me see if my boy's booked in the States this month. I gotta check if he's even gonna be over there, because I don't want to say his name if he's not gonna be over there.
Oh, I've convinced myself now that I want to watch Yuta versus Echiseto.
Echiseto is really good.
That would be like a good idea, because I mean Echiseto and Daniel. I was supposed to say Danielson again. Why the fuck, guys? I've been consistently call him Danielson, and I'm not even trying to do it on purpose. Danielson.
Danielson, really popular. So
yes. I mean, Echiseto already wrestled Danielson, who is in BCC. Yuta is in BCC.
Yes, sure is. That the dots
are connected.
The American Dragon, Danielson. I think Danielson is less offensive than calling him Daniel Bryanson, which I have done.
I've done Daniel Bryan before, and I'm like, that's not right.
Sometimes the brain just doesn't work, so it happens to the best of us. I am not finding what I'm looking for, which means that he is not on this tour, so I'm just not going to say anything. But yeah, Supercard of Honor, it's probably going to end up being a crazy card, to be honest. Yuta Hechicero would be incredible. I wouldn't be surprised if they ended up doing a multi-man. Yeah, for the tag belts again.
Kyle Fletcher.
Kyle Fletcher. Yeah, that was circle back to that. Kyle Fletcher, who are you wrestling this weekend? Damn. Has he Ring of Honor watchers? If there are any of you in the chat, please tell us who has been talking about the TV title.
Oh, Ethan Page, isn't it?
Oh,
or did I make that up?
Potential, yeah. That wouldn't surprise me. Charlie, are we on the same page? Because someone came to mind. I don't know. I was talking about Connor Mills. Are you talking about Luke Jacobs? Because he is booked Mania weekend for Progress, so.
They were planning on doing Ethan Page for Kyle's visa issues around a bit. It's going to be Shotty Lee.
Ethan Page, yeah, and probably, yeah. Shotty Lee. Well, that could be cool. I haven't seen Shotty Lee wrestle in a while.
Ethan Page.
Yes, it is Ethan Page. Okay. Is this confirmed and we've just missed it? Or, are you avid Ring of Honor watchers just correcting us? Avid. That's how you say that word. Mills has changed so much recently. I feel like his name has gone out there much more. That's because I don't shut the fuck up about the boy. Every podcast I'm on, I'm just like, damn, Connor Mills. But yeah, So again, Supercard of Honor. I'm excited to watch that. I don't know if I'll be able to watch it live because of I'll have an early coach to Cardiff. But...
Is this Friday? No, not this Friday. Oh my god, I keep thinking it's this Friday. What the?
Yeah, you keep thinking it's this Friday. No, it's Friday after.
Hey guys.
5th of April. 5th of April.
5th of April.
But Mania weekend's a little bit crazy in general. Let's talk about the DDT show because that is one of the cards I actually have saved to my phone, so it'll be easy enough to talk about. There's some fun matches on this. Let's talk about the one we've already touched on already. So we've got DDT have booked CCK, Kid Lycos, and Chris Brooks versus Shota and Brian Keith, which is really fun. I haven't seen Shota wrestle too much, but BK, we are big BK advocates around these parts. Wow, that was a sentence. So I'm really interested to see these guys get in the ring and see what they can do in a tag match. I feel like this could be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a good one. Just CCK, that is a name I've not whoa. Like them reuniting in Philadelphia of all places is so funny to me. But
yeah,
that's gonna be a fun match.
It's gonna be real fun.
Yeah,
I hope that the CCK run. Yeah. I hope the CCK runs extends from the States to other places and throughout the year, because if they just do the States and I don't get to see them together live again, I will be sending strongly worded emails.
Real.
Manchester. Charlie, I will travel to Manchester. I will go anywhere for these boys. I am such a CCK girly. But anyways, moving away from them for a moment, because trust me, there is another match they have this weekend that we will be talking about. Elsewhere on the DDT card, Mao is wrestling Billy Starks, which is sick.
Yo,
I think that could be real fun. What day is this show? The 4th. This is the Thursday, so this is the day before.
The day before.
Supercard. That's for the DDT Universal Championship, and it's DDT, and it's no rules.
So that's what I'm saying. That this is a fucked up wrestling.
Hell yeah.
Match. I'm so excited. Dude.
Yeah.
Knowing how crazy Billy is and knowing just how crazy Mao is, this match is oh my god, so good.
It's gonna be intense.
It's gonna make me low-key kind of sad because I was at the DDT show last year and now I'm not gonna be at this one. And
I'm so sad I'm not going to Philly.
Yeah, the show last year at DDT ended up being one of my favorite shows I've been to live in general.
Yeah.
It's so fun. Oh my god. It was a hoot.
A hoot. So they've also got in a special singles match, Konosuke Takeshita versus Shunma Katsumata. I'm so sorry if I butchered that. I'm not very good at pronouncing things. I've not seen Shunma wrestle before, but I'm big Takeshita girly, so
37.
I'm on board.
That's gonna be fun. I think I don't know. I feel like these guys might have some really good chemistry together. I'm excited for this one.
I'm also very excited. We'll watch Takeshita fight anyone. Me too. We got Kazuki Hirata versus Yoshihiko. So that immediately tells me everything that I need to know about that match, and I will watch it and I will probably have a fantastic time.
I love that.
It's gonna be great. There is a tag match. Masada and Nick Wayne are teaming up to face Cannon and Sasaki. So that's gonna be fun. Those are names I'm actually familiar with. So I'm really interested.
Masada, you guys need to invest into some Masada stock because
yes, buy some Masada.
I love him. Yes.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. And then 2 more matches. Yuki Uno is facing Speedball Mike Bailey. Real Graps.
Mm-hmm.
Some real Graps. And Tetsuya Endo is facing Andrew the Giant, who I've never seen outside of a squash match. So this is going to be actually quite interesting, to be fair.
Oh my god, Andrew Everett. He's pretty fun. I saw him last year. He was in the card for that DDT show that I was at last year, and it ended up being like, I think it was DDT because I went to a bunch of shows last year. I low key, they're all kind of like blurring together.
Yeah.
But let me see if it was, who did he go? Who did he wrestle last year? Then I remember he was in it, and I was like, I low key kind of like this match. It was. Oh, it was Higuchi and Masada versus Andrew Everett and Nick Wayne. That one that was pretty fun. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, the whole card from last year was really fun, which is makes me sad that I'm missing this year because I had so much fun last year. So it's like,
honestly, some of these indie shows, like the booking, I'm just like, damn, that's crazy cool, and I'm real sad that I ended up not going to Mania this year because of a little insight to our planning and things that we do. We were considering it, and the trip might have happened, and then they announced Windy City Riot, and now I don't think either of us can actually go to that. And to be fair, we probably wouldn't have been able to afford Mania weekend anyways. But man, I'm a little sad to be missing out. I'm a little sad. I'm just going through the Defy page because I want to talk about that card and what they've got announced so far. I've gone too far back for match announcements, so I think I've got all the matches they've announced so far. And we're going to start off with the boys again, because of course we are. CCK are facing Moonlight Express, which is 2 teams that we are very big fans of. If ever there was a tag match that I would drop everything to watch and be there live for, it is this. Defy booking this is so crazy. I don't know. I'm just really excited to see CCK and Moonlight Express. I feel like this is going to end up being one of my favorite matches of the weekend because it's tag team wrestling and it's my boys. So
that's so nostalgic. Like those 2 teams, that's just so nostalgic.
It is very much so nostalgic.
Oh my gosh.
It's so Brit coded. And people just don't understand. And I hope that people come out of that loving it and they look up previous encounters and stuff and they just, it has my heart. It's giving warehouse with no running water. You are so right. It should run in a warehouse with no running water. But elsewhere on the Defy card for that weekend, Kenta is defending the World Championship against Gringo Loco.
Okay. I'm excited to see how
I like Gringo Loco.
I like Gringo Loco, yeah.
I'm not sure what he looks like against 2024 Kenta.
I was about to say, I don't know how 2024 Kenta would be like against, someone like Gringo Loco, but...
Yeah. I won't write it off.
I wouldn't write it off. It might be, I don't know. Who knows?
There could be something there for it. And then I think for now the only other match announced for the Defy show is Vert Vixen versus Trish Adora and versus Sawyer Wreck for the Defy Women's Champion in a 3-way dance. That's Vert Vixen isn't someone that I'm like overly familiar with, but I've seen a lot of Trish Adora and I've seen a lot of Sawyer Wreck. I think there's quite a bit of potential there. I think this could be a really fun match. So
yeah, for sure.
I don't know if you've seen anything else for
I don't think I've seen anything for Defy yet. I don't think so, no. Trying to pull up this one.
I'm gonna look up Stardom on Cage Match and see if I can find a card for that. because I don't know if anything's been announced for it yet.
Mm-hmm.
But Stardom are running a show that weekend, and it's sold out.
Yes. I know they've announced a couple matches for like the collective, because obviously like it wouldn't be Mania weekend without the collective.
Well,
so they know they have announced. Yeah, Stardom doesn't have a card yet. I think they've just announced like who might be showing up.
Some talent.
But like, yeah. There's this one that I saw from like spring break that was just like, okay, that kind of moves me. Gringo Loco versus Volador Jr. honestly, because it's like he doesn't love Lucha Libre. But also it was Tanaka and Suzuki versus I think it was Rina Yamashita and Masha Slamovich. That could be a pretty fun one. I feel like that. There's just like the thing that I love about Mania weekend, it's like just like the possibility, like the outcomes of all the shows that are running, like stuff that you wouldn't really think of, like to think that you would see. I'm
having a quick scroll through the collective Twitter. I think the only progress match that's been announced that I would say to people to circle, because of it's quite an intense weekend, there is so much wrestling on, is the Men's World Championship match right now, which is Kid Lycos, who is Progress Men's World Championship champion, he has the belt, versus Man Like DeReese. And if you haven't seen Man Like DeReese wrestle at any point, even though he's been out in the States a couple of times now, like he wrestles a fair bit for GCW, he's gonna knock your socks off because he is so underrated and so cool and so funny. And I have a lot of time for Man Like DeReese because of he's an insane workhorse and delivers every time, man. And he is so over in the States from everything that I've seen. He is loved out there. So I am very, very excited for, as Adrian has pointed out, an 0121 representative getting a spotlight in the main event of his show in Philly. And the Progress show in general, it looks pretty fun. I think people are going to come out of it loving Sunshine Machine. Luke Jacobs going to come out with a new cult of fans, I think. So it's going to be a great time. It's going to be a great time, I reckon. And the collective is just running an insane amount, as always. Bloodsport is one that we should probably touch on, because obviously Shayna versus Masha.
Yeah.
Which is
crazy.
It is pretty crazy. Let me see if I can find Josh Barnett's Twitter, because if there was some other cool matches on that show that I wanted to touch on. We will get to super chats in a little second. Minoru Suzuki versus Royce Isaacs, which I think could be a lot of fun. Josh Barnett versus Johnny Bloodsport is just an incredibly funny match to book for your show. That has popped me quite a bit. Nick Nemeth versus Speedball Mike Bailey. I do not know what a Nick Nemeth Bloodsport match looks like.
I didn't even know that got announced.
Yeah, that got announced in February.
No way! Oh, I just barely.
Timothy Thatcher's on this show. He is wrestling Axel Teicher, and I can never say his last name right, but he was part of Imperium. For people that don't know, he was the other Imperium member that they just never brought back.
If you guys didn't know, me and Carly are very big Timothy Thatcher girlies.
That's our boy. That is my favorite British man that isn't British.
Yeah, my favorite British Californian man.
Yes. Oh my god, they have booked the members of the Astronauts against each other, which I forgot about until I've just seen the graphic again.
That's so you.
So it's Fuminori Abe versus Takuya Nomura, and I'm very bad at pronouncing their names, but the Astronauts are fucking incredible. And oh my god, what if the Astronauts fight on Supercard of Honor for the tag belts?
Oh my god, dude. We didn't even think about that. It would be Tony. No. Please book the Astronauts. Ring of Honor.
Tony, yes, please.
Tony,
yes.
Please.
Also, yes, Kyle. He is Californian Timothy Thatcher, and it was the funniest experience of my life. meeting him in person because we met him in San Francisco.
Oh, he's funny.
Oh, very funny. Very,
He's
very
really
funny.
sweet too. Very nice guy.
He
right?
is. I've got all the time in the world for Timothy Thatcher. But I think that's all of the blood sports stuff. I think I skipped over a few matches, but like those are like the ones that I'm kind of looking into. Let's get into these super chats because I've kind of been sat here for a minute and I just kept waffling. Chi-Town Spurs $10 super chat, thank you. I know they've seemed impossible to book well in America, but that street fight made me realise that AEW is definitely deep enough for women's tag titles, especially if they're shared on Ring of Honor and AEW. I don't want to see it right now. They do have the roster deep enough for it. They just need to establish teams, but I'm really not a fan of them bringing in AEW women's tag titles right now.
Like, I'm sure they have the potential and they have the depth for it, but I don't really think that's necessary right now. Maybe like something in the future, but like as of right now, I don't really think I would be for the idea of introducing the tag team belts for women's tag team belts. You know?
Yeah, no, thank you. Like, I get why people like keep pitching it, and like the talent probably want it, and I'm sure they could do something cool, but just run a tag tournament for now. Like, show the depth that you have. Don't just throw some belts out. I don't need belts right now for this division. But anyways, speaking of women's wrestling, Darren Walker, £5 super chat. Thank you, Darren. I hope you are well. See you at the Revolution Rumble if you're going at the end of the month. But is the Stardom show in America worth spending £25 on at WrestleMania weekend? It's on Triller TV. I'll be spending £25 on it. I'm well excited for the Stardom show in America. I think it's going to be fucking amazing and probably one of the best shows of the weekend, to be honest.
Yeah, I have no doubt that they're gonna show out. I feel like this could be the potential to be the show of the weekend, just because it's like, is this Stardom's first time in America, like as a whole, or have they been here before? Because you guys might be correct me on that, but like I feel like they're definitely gonna go all out for this.
Yeah.
Just to kind of showcase, like, hey, this is Stardom. This is what we do, you know. And
yeah,
I did see that there was a comment saying that they did announce. I think like the only match they've announced so far has been I think it's like Micah and Megan Bain for the red belt, which could be a really fun one. I like Micah, so
yes, I found the comment.
I did a show in 2018. Sorry, thank you, Pylons.
Thank you. Yeah, that match sounds sick. Let me see if I can find. I was going to see if I can find a list of people that have been announced for that show, but I know that Willow's been announced.
Let's see.
I'm
pulling it up.
My brain has blanked. I know there's been some really cool announcements for the the Stardom show Mania weekend. So I am very, very excited about that. And to answer your question, yes, I think that is going to be worth the money. And Stardom got to give everyone hyped for Forbidden Door. They're going to crush it in Philly. I think that they are going to have just an incredible show, and it's going to be a great time. And yeah, I'm very excited for all the absolute insanity that is Mania weekend and how like the 17,000 shows that will be running, because we covered like 4, and that's not all of them, because we haven't covered For the Culture, we haven't covered Spring Break,
the Alfred Hitchcock Memorial Show, which that one is always like really freaking fun.
Yeah,
and I know they've announced Team CMLL versus Team Dragon Gate so far, and so it's gonna be like, I don't know. I feel like the Alfred Hitchcock Memorial Show always has like a really strong card. Just because I was looking on their Instagram and I was like, oh, who have they announced so far that's going to be on the show? Yeah. And it's like they have a lot of people, but I don't think they've announced the full card yet, or I might have missed it. But let me see. There's this one match that they're running Joey Janela versus Nick Nemeth. I said Alfred Hitchcock. Mark Hitchcock. I'm thinking of the director.
Alfred Hitchcock. I didn't even realize.
Like they've announced like Mascara Dorada, Josh Alexander, Dragon Kid, Hechicero, FBI, They've announced Rob Van Dam, Tanaka, Mike Bailey, Místico, Los Boricuas. So like, no, break. I'm so sorry. I had a whole brain fart. Nobody corrected me in the chat that I was saying Alfred Hitchcock.
It just went completely over my head as well. Like, there's loads of shows in the collective we haven't touched on, like GCW and JCW vs. the World, Effie's Big Gay Brunch, which is always a good time apparently. GCW versus TJPW. The straight out TJPW show, Progress, like more in depth, Spring Break, Fun Culture, etc. There is a lot. There's also the WrestleCon matches, I'm pretty sure, that weekend. Like, it just starts coming and it don't stop coming, sort of thing. Like, there is so much Wrestling Mania weekend. Not even just in Philly. Like, I'm going to Cardiff for like Attack Pro Wrestling. They're running 2 shows that weekend. They're doing watch-alongs after both shows, so it's going to be a very long weekend. I'm going to be absolutely shattered, but it'll be a good time. Just the beginning of April is a great time for wrestling. It's going to be a lot of fun. I do think we are winding down, though, because we've accidentally gone like almost 2 hours. Just chatting shit. Yeah. But get your last minute super chats in now if you so please. Showtime Spurs $5. Alexia, if AEW had to put on a Dune themed match similar to that Garcia vs Danielson House of Dragon one, who would you want in it?
Oh, alright, so funny you mentioned it because me and Julian, Tire Style Pro, if you guys don't know him, we were literally talking about this and we were having like, we're fantasy booking a whole match that was going to be on Gady Prime. I would run, Fade Rotha versus John Mox. Like, this is the nerdiest thing I've talked about. But we were literally talking about how cool a John Moxley Fade Rotha match would be. And we were just talking about, like, it'd be pretty, like, it'd be pretty cool. He would do this, do that. But yeah, I for sure would like to see Fade Rotha versus John Moxley at Gady Prime. That would be a beast match. There's other ones that I could go on, but I feel like I don't really want to talk about it too much right now because I feel myself like getting red. Like this is the nerdiest thing I'm talking about, you guys. I could go into full depth into more about where I would see it. I would book another match in Era Keen. I would book another match at Caledon. So it's just all right. But yeah, thank you, Chi-Town Spurs.
God bless. I had no idea what you were talking about, but that was incredible. But yeah, we have talked about a lot. I think we've covered pretty much everything. Let me re-choke the list that I have in my phone. We talked about Adam Copeland, we talked about Dynasty, we talked about Supercard of Honor, we talked about Mania weekend. So I think that pretty much covers everything. Unless there's anything you want to bring up before we get out of this.
Yeah, so we recently, or the Wrestle Purist channel recently uploaded, we had an interview with Stokely. That's so really, yeah. If you guys want to check it out, you guys should check it out.
Yes, absolutely. Israel did a great job with that interview. We got some cool stuff lined up for the channel, I'm pretty sure. Do you have anything to plug? Personal plugs?
I don't
that was a weird way to
so.
say that.
Yeah, plugs. I don't think I'm good. I mean, just if you want to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, or social media.
You want to follow us on Instagram as well, but
yes, and I would like to plug Dune. I would like to plug Dune. You haven't watched it, watch it. It's so good. I love this movie, you guys. It's so good. But yeah.
That is over there. Yeah, so do I have plugs? I drew art recently. That is my plug. I've drawn something. Go look at it, please. I'll show you guys. I'll get it up on my phone real quick. I was very proud of it. I no longer am in possession of this art because I've already given it to the wrestler that it was of. But I did it. I drew it. This is my drawing. You can't see it very well, but I did that. Go like and retweet it on Twitter if you so please. I don't know. I'm not going to retweet it because the rest will get the notification. That's embarrassing. But appreciate all the love that people have shown on that. All your regular podcasts this week, probably, most likely, unless Monty tweets otherwise on the Wrestle Purist account. Thanks, guys, for the compliments. I do appreciate it. But yeah, Worldwide back tomorrow. Tuesdays is your double billing Raw review and Guy Live if they are live. Got the watch along on Wednesday. Thursdays, Flagship. No, that's a lie. Flagship's not on Thursday anymore. The Dynamite review on Thursday. Friday, Monty might go live if it feels like it. Saturday, watch along sometimes, occasionally. And then all the way back to Sunday for you guys on Graps, which probably will not be next weekend because I am in London for Rev Pro and I don't know what time I'll get home. But there might be a flagship show on the Sundays. That is when they run now. There
is a flagship show right after this.
Is it? Yeah. I didn't know Monty was running one this week.
Yeah, I got the notification early and I was like, the Wrestle Purist was just like, oh, live on YouTube at 7 p.m. Eastern. So they're about to go live, you guys. So if you guys want to hang around, hang around after this, because they'll be here. Please hang out and see them.
Keep it moving.
Yeah, just
go support the boys the way you've supported us. I don't know if we'll be stopping in. Monty will probably message us, be like, "Do you guys want to come in on the stream?" I'll be like, "Okay, give us a minute." But yeah, I think that is all from us, though. Thank you again for being here. We really do appreciate it, and we really do hope that you guys have been having fun with Girls on Graps. I know we're not the most consistent podcast ever, but when we can do it, we have a lot of fun with it. And with that said, please like, subscribe if you haven't already, and leave a comment in the actual comment section, not just the live chat, please. We very much appreciate it. And we will see you soon. Bye, guys.